Lila Monroe stood behind the counter of Harper's Market, her fingers dancing over the register's keys. The beep of scanned items, a steady rhythm. At 26, she was a cashier in the small town of Willow Creek, a place where cornfields stretched wider than ambitions, and the grocery store was the heart of daily life. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sterile glow on the linoleum. But Lila's smile was warm, a practiced reflex for the customers who shuffled through her line. Today was Thursday, the busiest day, with folks stocking up for the weekend, their carts piled with milk, bread, and dreams of Friday barbecues. Lila had worked at Harper's for 4 years, ever since she'd returned to Willow Creek after a brief stint at community college in Des Moines. She'd dreamed of becoming a writer, her notebooks filled with half-finished stories. But life had other plans. Her mom's cancer diagnosis, bills piling up, the need for a steady paycheck. The job paid $13 an hour, enough to cover rent on her one-bedroom apartment and her mom's meds, with a little left for gas and the occasional coffee at Millie's Diner. It wasn't glamorous, but it was hers, and Lila found a strange comfort in the routine. Scan, bag, smile, repeat. The store was bustling, the air thick with the scent of fresh produce and the hum of conversation. Lila's register, number 3, was a hub of activity. Mrs. Callahan, a retired teacher, unloaded her cart, chatting about her garden. "Tomatoes are coming in nice this year," she said, handing Lila a coupon for cereal. "That's great, Mrs. C," Lila replied, scanning the box. "You gonna make that salsa again?" She knew the customers' stories, as well as their shopping habits. Mrs. Callahan's salsa, Mr. Jenkins' fishing trips, the Larson kids' love for gummy worms. They didn't know much about her, but that was fine. Lila liked being the listener, the one who held space for their lives. Her co-worker, Jamal, a lanky 19-year-old stocking shelves nearby, tossed her a grin. "You ever get tired of hearing about tomatoes, Lila?" She laughed, bagging Mrs. Callahan's groceries. "Nah, it's the highlight of my day." Jamal shook his head, restocking canned beans. He was saving for trade school, aiming to be an electrician, and Lila envied his clarity. She'd lost hers somewhere between her mom's chemo and the monotony of scanning barcodes. But the store was a community, and that kept her grounded. Jamal's jokes, the manager Rosa's stern but fair leadership, the way customers like Mrs. Callahan always asked how she was doing. Lila's shift ran from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 5 days a week, with overtime during holidays. She started by restocking the candy racks, her apron pockets jingling with change. The register was her domain, a cluttered station of receipts, a worn scanner, and a photo of her mom, Diane, taped to the side. Diane was in remission now, living with Lila's aunt in town, but the fear of relapse lingered. Shadow Lila couldn't outrun. The morning passed in a blur of transactions. She scanned groceries for the regulars, Mr. Jenkins with his frozen pizzas, young mom Sarah with her toddler snacks, Pastor Lee buying ingredients for the church potluck. Each interaction was a snapshot, a moment of connection. Lila knew how to read people, when to chat, when to stay quiet. Sarah, frazzled, got a quick smile and an extra bag for her diapers. Pastor Lee got a question about Sunday's sermon. It was an art, one Lila had honed without realizing. At noon, she took her break in the cramped employee lounge, eating a turkey sandwich and scrolling her phone. She followed writing blogs, saving prompts she never had time to try. A notification popped up. A local library workshop on creative writing starting next month. Her heart quickened, but doubt crept in. Could she afford the time, the energy? She bookmarked it, promising herself she'd think about it later. Back at the register, the afternoon brought a rush. A kid spilled juice in aisle 5, and Lila grabbed a mop, her sneakers squeaking as she cleaned. Rosa, the manager, patted her shoulder. "You're a lifesaver, Lila. Don't know what we'd do without you." Lila smiled, but the words stung. She was good at this. Reliable, quick, friendly. But was that all she'd be? The thought gnawed at her, as persistent as the beep of her scanner. The customers were Lila's window to Willow Creek, each one a story unfolding in her line. There was Ellie, a high school senior who bought energy drinks and talked about college applications. "I'm applying to Iowa State," she said one day, her eyes bright. "Want to study nursing?" "That's amazing," Lila said, scanning a Red Bull. "You'll be great. Nurses are always needed." She'd read about healthcare jobs booming. Nurse practitioners, home health aides, medical assistants, all in demand with salaries topping $100,000 for some. Ellie's ambition reminded Lila of her own, buried but not gone. Then there was Mr. Hargrove, a widower who bought single-serve meals and lingered to talk. "You ever think about leaving this town?" he asked once, his voice wistful. Lila paused, bagging his soup. "Sometimes, but it's home, you know." He nodded, his eyes distant. "Home's good, but don't let it hold you back." The words stuck with her, a quiet challenge. She saw herself in Hargrove's loneliness, in Ellie's hope, in the tired parents and chatty kids who passed through. They were her people, and she was theirs, even if they didn't know her dreams. One regular, Caleb, a mechanic in his 30s, always made her laugh. He'd buy beer and chips, flirting just enough to be charming, not pushy. "Lila, when you gonna write that bestseller?" he'd tease, spotting her notebook by the register. "When you fix my car for free," she'd shoot back, grinning. Caleb was a friend, nothing more, but his attention was a spark in her routine. He'd once left a note on a receipt. "Keep writing, you're good," and she'd kept it, tucked in her wallet like a talisman. The job wasn't all smiles. Lila's feet ached after 8 hours, her lower back protesting the constant standing. The register's beep haunted her dreams, and rude customers, rare but memorable, left her drained. One man, red-faced over a coupon, had yelled, "Do your job right?" when it didn't scan. Lila stayed calm, voiding the item, but her hands shook as he stormed off. Rosa had checked on her later, offering a soda. "Don't let the jerks get you down," she said. But Lila felt the sting. Money was tighter than she liked. Her mom's medical bills were paid off, but new ones loomed. Maintenance meds, a car repair, her own student loan from those aborted college days. She picked up extra shifts, working Saturdays or covering for Jamal, but it meant less time for writing, for herself. The library workshop flyer sat on her nightstand, a reminder of what she wasn't doing. Her mom noticed, over Sunday dinner at her aunt's house. "You look tired, baby," Diane said, spooning mashed potatoes. "You still writing?" Lila poked at her chicken. "Not much. Work's been busy." Diane's eyes softened. "You've always had stories. Don't give up on them. You're more than that register." The words were a lifeline, but also a weight. Lila wanted to believe her mom, but the gap between her dreams and her reality felt like a chasm. She was good at being a cashier, dependable, kind. But was that enough? Change came in small moments, like ripples in a pond. One evening, a customer, Ms. Rivera, a librarian, noticed Lila's notebook. "You write?" she asked, buying a bag of apples. Layla hesitated, scanning the fruit. "Yeah, just for fun. Stories, mostly." Ms. Rivera smiled, handing her a card. "Come to our workshop at the library. We'd love to have you." Lila took the card, her pulse quickening. That night, she signed up, committing to Tuesday evenings. The workshop was free, a miracle for her budget, and Ms. Rivera was encouraging, praising Lila's first story, a tale of a girl in a small town chasing a dream. "You've got a voice," she said, her feedback sharp but kind. "Keep honing it." The workshop sparked something in Lila. She started writing again, stealing moments before shifts or on breaks, her notebook filling with new stories about Willow Creek, its people, her own heart. She wrote about Caleb's laugh, Ellie's ambition, her mom's strength. Writing became her escape, a way to process the grind and imagine a future. At work, she opened up more. She told Jamal about the workshop, and he high-fived her. "That's dope, Lila. You gonna be famous?" She laughed, but his support mattered. Rosa, overhearing, gave her a rare day off to attend a workshop session, a quiet nod of approval. Even the customers noticed a change. Mrs. Callahan bought a journal one day, sliding it to Lila. "For your stories," she said, winking. "Us old folks need something to read." Lila's eyes stung, but she smiled. "Thanks, Mrs. C. I'll dedicate one to you." Willow Creek was Lila's anchor, its people her extended family. The store was a crossroads, where lives intersected. Birthdays, breakups, new jobs, all shared over her counter. She started seeing her role differently, not just a cashier, but a keeper of stories, a witness to the town's heartbeat. One day, Caleb came through, buying his usual beer. "Heard you're writing up a storm," he said, leaning on the counter. "Gonna let me read something?" Lila blushed, scanning his items. "Maybe. If it's any good." "It'll be good," he said, his eyes steady. "You're good, Lila." The compliment lingered, a warmth she carried through her shift. Caleb wasn't her future, but he was part of her present, a reminder that she was seen, not just for her apron, but for her potential. Ellie, too, became a bright spot. She'd stop by after school, sharing college updates. "I got into Iowa State," she announced one day, bouncing on her toes. Lila grinned, bagging her energy drink. "Told you, you're gonna be an amazing nurse." She thought of the job market. Healthcare was booming, with nurse practitioners earning $130,000. Home health aides growing 22% by 2033. Ellie's path was clear, and Lila felt a pang of pride mixed with resolve to find her own. By spring, Lila's writing was gaining traction. Ms. Rivera submitted one of her stories to a regional literary magazine, and it was accepted. A small victory, but hers. The publication paid $50, enough for a celebratory dinner with her mom, who framed the magazine's cover. "I'm so proud," Diane said, her voice thick. "You're doing it, Lila." The workshop led to a part-time gig, editing the library's newsletter, a side hustle that paid $20 an hour and used her writing skills. It wasn't much, but it was a start, a bridge to something bigger. Lila researched careers, technical writers, content creators, even social media managers, all in demand with salaries from $70,000 to $100,000. She enrolled in an online writing course, saving her tips to cover the $200 fee. Her dream of a writing career, no longer a fantasy, but a plan. At Harper's, she stayed the reliable cashier, but she carried herself differently, less weighed down, more hopeful. Jamal noticed, tossing her a candy bar during a slow shift. "You're glowing, Lila. Writing's your thing, huh?" "Yeah," she said, catching the bar. "Think I'm figuring that out." Rosa gave her a raise, $14 an hour, and a flexible schedule to accommodate her newsletter work. "You're one of the best we've got," Rosa said, her tone gruff but warm. "Don't go leaving us completely, all right?" Lila laughed, promising to stay. The store was her roots, its people her foundation. She wasn't leaving Willow Creek, not yet, but she was building something. Stories, skills, a future. One summer evening, Lila closed the store, the sky streaked with pink and gold. She locked the register, her apron folded, and walked to Millie's diner, her notebook in her bag. Caleb was there, fixing a friend's truck in the lot, and waved her over. "Wrote that bestseller yet?" he called, wiping grease from his hands. "Working on it," she said, grinning. She showed him a draft, a story about a cashier who finds her voice, and he read it, his smile growing. "This is you, Lila," he said, handing it back. "It's real." She walked home, the town quiet, the air warm with the scent of cut grass. Willow Creek wasn't the world, but it was hers, and she was more than its cashier. She was a writer, a daughter, a friend, a woman carving her path. The register's beep would always be part of her, but so would the stories she told, the lives she touched, the dreams she chased. Lila opened her notebook, pen moving across the page, the words flowing like a river. She was just beginning, and that was enough.